so pretty, 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 pretty. Baby girl, you are so pretty, 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 pretty.
Hey Nail Baes, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. I'm really happy to have you here. I decided that I would do a part 2 to a video that I did previously. If you watch some of my videos, you know that I've done a video on how to build clientele from the ground up, or just started from the bottom. But on this video, I'm gonna do a part 2 on how to build clientele, and I'm going to give you all just a little bit more insight, because this is very important, especially for beginner nail techs. So I'm gonna get right into it. I'm gonna get started. Y'all know I always have my notebook, because I'm gonna try to keep it as real as I can. So my first thing that I would say, if you're trying to build clientele, is you want to make sure you are doing a 1 client a day method, because this method really works. This is how I started. A lot of people, when I first started doing nails, well, let me be clear here. I've been doing nails for a very long time. I have not been doing nails necessarily in my own suite, but I've only been doing nails in my suite for going on 3 years. But prior to that, I worked at home, and I worked at another nail shop that was a Black-owned nail suite. And years before that, I worked in Vietnamese shops. I worked in at least 3. And, it's a lot that goes into building a clientele, because sometimes people will tell you,
You won't be able to do it that fast. It could take years to build a clientele.
because I have heard a lot of people tell me that. That's why you should not depend on what other people tell you. You have to put in the work and do stuff for yourself, because it didn't take me long to build a clientele. I had a whole clientele ready to get into a whole nail suite in a year and a half. It did not take long at all. And that was me getting ready to move into something. I had the clients, okay? I had the clients when I was working at home. I really had them before that. But, we finna get into it. So, you can do this with a 1 client a day method. So, when I say that a 1 client a day method, meaning you need to let it be known that you're doing nails. Let that be known. Have your logo together. Have all your nail supplies together. Have you a table set up. Be ready to actually perform a service. You know what I'm saying? Have a nice variety of polishes or nail art gels or whatever it is that you want to use. You need to have a good variety of that. A good variety of acrylic foundations. You need to have that. You need to just have everything that you need to be able to provide a service. Because anytime you're doing a service, you don't want to just have a little bit of stuff. You have to have a lot of stuff, because every client is going to want something different. And the more people start to come in your chair, the more variety they're going to want every time that they come back. So, let that be the first thing that you do. Make sure you're ready. But once you are ready, I'm back. My camera had failed. But make sure you have make sure you are booking at least 1 client. And when you do the 1 client, make sure you are doing your best work. Have you a client that when you have a client sitting in your chair, this is an opportunity for you to, especially when you're building, but this is an opportunity for you to get your shaping together. You need to be snapping on that shaping, because that's ultimately what's going to bring people back. People love shapes. Black people in particular love shaping, because that's most of the time what you can't get inside the chop shops is shaping. They can't never get the shapes just right the way we want them. And I'm not saying all of them, because you got some that are really good, but it's not the majority. Every single shop that you see on the corner, because there's so many of them, all of them not going to be snapping on them shapes. So that's where you come into place. You know what I'm saying? So you want to be the one that's hitting it on them shapes, hitting it on that filing. You know what I mean?
Your stiletto need to be stilettoing. Your coffin need to be coffining.
All of that. Your tape and square need to be hidden, So that's number 1. When it comes to the 1 client a day method, make sure when you're doing that 1 client a day that you snapping on them shapes. The next thing that you need to make sure you're doing is making sure you are snapping on the nail art. So that's another thing that a lot of times people have a problem with. That's why they're searching for. A lot of times they're searching for nail techs that can do the work. So that's something you want to make sure you can do. And if you're not, if you're afraid to do these things on your clients, have a press-on set. They got the whole press-on kit, like, you know, the magnets that you can put the nails on, and, you know, do a whole set on press-ons. That's what I did. I learned how to do most of my nail art on press-ons. So perfect that. Perfect different trends. Whatever it is that you have to do to perfect what you do, you need to perfect it. That way, every time a person comes back, you know, they when you are taking pictures of it and you making sure every time you post about your nails is something that's slapping. You know what I mean? Because overall, that is what's going to keep people coming back to your chair. So that's one thing that you are going to have to do. And that's really it, honestly. If you making sure your shaping is on point, you making sure your nail art is on point, and every time you doing it, you're gonna, you know, you taking really good pictures of it. That's really all it takes. Most of the time, if you do a good job on that, clients will come back, especially if they are the type of people that love to get their nails done. So, to me, that's it. You need to make sure you have a really pleasant personality. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that, you know, a person can deal with, because a lot of times people don't want to come to a person that you talking on the phone the entire time you at the shop. You know what I'm saying? The entire time. You know what I mean? They're not going to want to come to you if that's what you finna do every time you're doing their nails. If you are, you know, just not together, you know, when it comes to just doing whatever it is that you are trying to do, and you can't really focus on them, or you got a really, really bad attitude, or a horrible, horrible attitude, or you always late, you know, stuff like that. That can keep a person from coming back to you. So if you're doing a one client a day method, you need to, like I said, make sure you are together. Make sure you are organized, because these are the things that people pay attention to. You know what I'm saying? So if you can do that, you really in there. I know one of my nail baes had asked me to do a video on lighting and hand posing, because that matters too. Especially if you're doing a one client a day method, you need to make sure that your lighting and your nail posing is on point. Because when I first got started in nails, this is what I'm telling y'all, I was doing the one client a day method, and I couldn't figure out why I couldn't book, because the nails was busting. But I wasn't doing what I needed to do so far as in lighting. I had at the time I had like a table ring light, and it sat on the table, and it kind of like was right over the nails, and it was cool, but it just wasn't good enough. You know what I'm saying? You need to have really good lighting, at least good brand, something that you know for a fact works. And I also did not have an upgraded phone at that time, so even though I had an iPhone, I mean, they had iPhones that clarity was just better. So as soon as I upgraded my phone and upgraded my lighting, I mean, literally, like maybe I want to say like 2 weeks later, I started booking. I was like, dang, all I needed to do was get a new light and get a new phone. That's all it takes. It's for people to actually see the work that you do. You know what I'm saying? Try your best to take pictures of your nails when the filing is done. You know, people, them nice dusties. Every nail tech love a good dusty pic, because it shows the crispiness of the nail. So you have to, you know, you got to kind of win people over. People got to see what you do in order for them to want to come to you. But if you got all of that, one client a day will have you booked. You will be booked and busy before you know it, because if you sharing the nails and they look good, and make sure your client that you booking is sharing your stuff too, because you are a nail tech trying to get your foot in the door. Make sure they're okay with that as well. And once other people see, like, dang, who did her nails? There you go, a whole nother client. I give it 3 to 4 months. 3 to 4 months of consistency of doing one client a day method, and I guarantee you will go from barely booking to booked and busy. So I hope that this video was helpful to y'all. I really, really do. I hope that y'all learned something from this video. I do hear my subscribers, the ones that's asking me to do a video on lighting and hand posing. I'm gonna try to wait until I get one of my clients in my chair, and I'm gonna show y'all a real-time video of how I do posing, of different poses that you can do. I got y'all. I'm gonna try my best to, give that to y'all. So I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and if you aren't already, please make sure you follow me on Instagram at Nail Bae Emery Denim. You can follow me on TikTok at Nail Bae Emery Denim. And if you have not hit that subscribe button and you watching this video, what are you waiting for? Subscribe. So I got some stuff coming up for y'all. I got a few videos that I'm getting ready to drop. So I hope y'all tuned in, and until next time, bye.